how the team treated you during that time is exactly how you treat them.
Thank you, Kelly. You certainly helped us dream the vision more clearly and articulate what I guess we want out of it.
I am so happy to be here with another one of my favorite Kellys. So you get not one, but two Kellys today on this podcast, which Steve Mora is very used to in our last 2 years of having two Kellys in his life. I'm very excited to announce our podcast guest today. We have Steve Kelly Mora from Heritage Insurance out of the Chico, California area. So I won't butcher their introductions. I'm going to turn it over to them to say hello and introduce themselves.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Yes, it's been quite an exciting year and a half working with Kelly and the APP team, and having two driver Kellys in my life has definitely been interesting.
You live to tell about it.
Yeah. No, we've made tremendous progress at the agency side, and really, I have to say, probably done a lot of personal and internal growth, and it's been a fantastic year and a half, and we're really grateful you invited us here today.
And so Kelly, my favorite thing when Steve was supposed to be introducing us, which he's been doing a lot over the last 2 days, because we just were attending a United Valley insurance conference down in Sacramento. And so Steve is usually point of contact with most of the people that he works with on the daily from carrier reps. And the introduction happens, and whether I'm his wife or I'm his business partner. But Steve, introduce me the way you normally do.
Yes, well, I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Kelly. Kelly is not only my wife, but my business partner, and we have two very distinct roles within the agency. I'm more of the technical, policy, organizational,
technology,
insurance. I'm the insurance part. Yeah, the technical insurance part of the business. And Kelly is the soft skills side of the business. She has as curator of our branding and our marketing, as well as the culture here at Heritage. And just really about creating the experience that we hope for from not only our clients, but our team as well.
Well, I thought he was just going to end at my wife and business partner. So that covered a lot more than I would.
I'm pretty proud of the things that she brings to the table.
Lovely introduction.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just start just a little background on the agency, just because you guys, I think you have something pretty special. You worked really hard on just clarifying like who you are, right? Who do you serve? Who do you are? And I've had the privilege of going out to Chico, California. So for those of you who don't know it, I think it's not only the number one party school in America. Is that also Chico?
They lost our edge on that, but yeah. Playboy magazine definitely called us that back at that.
You have pretty much like one of the largest agricultural programs in the country at that college, and just being up there and seeing where a lot of the food in America comes from is very humbling. I remember we toured the rice. I don't say manufacturer. I'm terrible at the nomenclature. The rice growing. And so maybe just tell a little bit about what you guys do at Heritage.
I think that goes way, way back to Steve in my beginning, which I think is probably one of the more appealing parts of our story when we talk with other people. We always get the, because we're high school sweethearts. We grew up together. Our families go way back, and our roots are in agriculture. I come from a farm family with Steve, and when we forged our way into our next step in life, our careers, Steve knew that he needed to be tied to agriculture, and we did not have the opportunity to stay within a family operation. We did relocate from our family farms, which are down in Central California. We're here now in the north because of Chico State. But Steve has always had an entrepreneurial spirit and a desire to kind of create his own way. But he knew it needed to be connected to agriculture. And like many things, you get to fall into things sometimes. He began his career in an organization called Farm Bureau, and was actually recruited from a person who shared office space, and found out about the wonderful world of insurance, and specifically a niche-focused agency like that serves agriculture. So I think that's where our beginnings with business began, but it really, truly, I think we actually attribute any success that we've had in life, whether it be within our family or insurance, is one of many businesses we put our hand to. We owned restaurants, I should say, flipped houses, all kinds of different things. And it's our background. It's the fact that we've known each other forever. Literally, it feels like that when you met at the age of 15. There isn't much that we haven't experienced together at all, period, from highs, lows, and all those things. So ag was ag, but I think what we knew, we wanted our he feels, and I think Steve articulates it better when it comes to the why of how he got to spend his days serving the people that matter to him, the community. So
Yeah, I think I would not have been in insurance. I was in agriculture. So, that saying that you are in the industry that you serve more than I say I'm more in the agriculture industry than I am the insurance industry. But of course, insurance is vocation. And I loved the opportunity, starting out, the opportunity to meet with individual families and become a part of their business operation, file reviews at kitchen tables, and planning for the future highs and lows. As everybody probably is aware, agriculture is it's not like a shoe store that just rolls with the economy. You have Mother Nature, you've got so many variables, but it is, as Kelly alluded to, I grew up on a family farm and saw the highs and lows, and was kind of a little disgruntled, I think probably at 20 years old, that I wasn't working back on the farm. But we try and bring that kind of rural ethics. And as we shaped heritage, I can go back and give kind of a little timeline if you'd like of how heritage came to be. So as Kelly said, about 25 years ago, I was working for an organization called Farm Bureau, which is an advocacy organization for farmers and ranchers in rural communities. And I had the opportunity to go to work with an insurance office, an owner of an insurance agency that was in the Farm Bureau office, and a wonderful experience. A mentor of mine went through to about 2009 and had an opportunity to acquire an agency of our own, and transitioned that. The seller was a small agency. In 2014, we took full ownership and launched Heritage. We had that kind of 5 years to really think about where we wanted to go. And
was it always called Heritage? I don't think I know that part.
No, it was actually Wagner Insurance Agency was the agency that we purchased. It was Francis Wagner was his name. He served the ag community as well. Kind of one of those classic small town, one-man agency with a couple of support staff, and was quite a colorful character. And it was a wonderful time transitioning through his retirement and bringing on our customers, relationships that I had established, as well as getting to know his. So we went through that transitional period. 2014, we, like I said, assumed full ownership. But really the irony of it is, at that time, within 6 months of buying the agency, I had a medical event that really changed the direction of where we were headed. So.
He doesn't usually like that was a very authentic moment there, because it's not a time that Steve is typically comfortable talking about. It's probably taken me a few years definitely taken me a few years. So that difficult medical time can be explained simply as he was a rare 1 in 2 billion. He had something called necrotizing fasciitis, something that has a 24 to 48 hour mortality rate. We live in a fairly small town. We have medical care here, but something of the magnitude, you need to be at Stanford or be life-flighted to Stanford Medical Center, where he and I spent the next 40 days in ICU. And I don't want to underplay it, because it truly is a very significant part of our life and our story. He was blessed to not only live, which was not expected, but to have all his limbs. We're grateful every single day. And I think it was a pivotal point in our business and in the way that we recognize some of it's easy to take things for granted in your life, and we had a really wonderful team. And I would say that it's fair to tell people, Steve, that he was accused more than a few times of being a micromanaging kind of stuff. It really wasn't ever about not thinking other people could do it, but just kind of a firm belief in it was his responsibility to do it.
The hard farmer work, right?
Absolutely. I do think it comes from that background and that work ethic, that it feels wrong to give your own responsibility to somebody else. But at some point, if you're doing things right, you outgrow the fact that you can't do them all. And he was immediately put into that moment. And I think one of the ahas when we had an opportunity to talk with you, Kelly, recently, which was just a quiet time as a married couple, but also with some thoughtful guidance by Kelly to think about how we might share something like this. That moment was I think probably the most powerful way I can share it is it was moving so very quickly. And we were literally sitting in an emergency room with the doctor telling me that I probably had 30 minutes where I could trust that I might be able to speak with Steve. And Steve was alert enough, he doesn't remember this, but I do, that we had about 30 minutes to know that we may talk. Because there was a very, very high likelihood that he would not survive the next 48 hours. Did the normal thing, called immediately our children, his best friend, mine. They arrived to help me through that really challenging next step. Called his parents because I certainly wanted everyone to have the opportunity to let them know how much they loved him. And then the doctor was talking to us, and he was trying to make small talk to keep me distracted from what was going on. I said, I don't want to be rude. I really appreciate what you're trying to do here, but I have about 15 minutes with this guy. We started talking about
That's been my whole life with.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
And the weirdest part of it was talking. We were so established. We didn't need to say I love you. We didn't need to get a lot of things in order. What we did need to get in order was the fact that while I had been working with him, I was not a instrumental part of our business. I was someone who might answer phones. I was, certainly not meant to be in the insurance business initially, and I certainly drawn into it. But at that time, my role, even by the team, was more surface. And immediately in that moment, Steve and I were facing the reality of again, he may not be coming back. And it was not about financials. It wasn't about anything other than our team and his clients. And his concern was, like I said, his son was in order with his family, but he was concerned for the people he served every day. And I don't think that I could ever speak a higher testimonial that here's a guy on his deathbed. I'm worrying about the so long
brings you like, call this guy about his renewal. It's on my desk. You're going to go need to go deliver it.
It's a little higher level than that, but it was
not far from it. Yeah, no.
For this, I have the tool to make immediate action. And for the first
phone
time,
numbers, people to call, consultants that I'd worked with.
Yeah. Here we have the bank accounts for the business.
I don't find the money, Kelly. Then we transitioned right into the nuts and bolts of just making sure he lived, which she did a great job on that.
Well, then you had to write the letter to clients.
I did, yeah, and it was I think probably a key moment in where I chose. Life sometimes gives you a nudge in the right direction, and in those moments, I realized that it was our baby. We were passionate about the business, but I had been more background, maybe talking about our dreams, and a lot of that was shared, but I didn't necessarily always grab the reins. And in that moment, we had some really great friends offering, hey, you probably want to, write a letter, which I had already done in my head, but hadn't necessarily done. And they were offering to do it. And I said, no, that's my job. And
there was no chat GBT back then. So you just be like, hey, I need you to write a letter for me.
Right. And, so that was my first, I would say, real true, other than doing the branding, which I had been involved at that point with, a lot of the creative and fun part of it, but outreach to clients directly from me regarding Steve. And I think it was, when we tell people we're transparent, I think that can really become such a cliche word that, everybody's transparent with their business. No, we really were. I never tried to conceal the fact that we were in a pretty serious situation. I did try to calm people down. And we're in a serious situation. We have amazing force people behind us, brands that we mentioned earlier, out of retirements, back at the desk. Things would be under control. I remember placing a phone call to, actually, I think it's almost ironic. It could have been because that we were just having a different kind of phone call a minute ago, but to just be responsible for our business together. And I think it was definitely pivotal for me. And I know it was for Steve in a different way. And I'll quit talking, let Steve talk more here soon. But
she's doing a good job. So,
I guess there's more things I share about that particular chapter. Trust is another really huge part of, I think, what is important in business and in life. And I think that's when Steve and I both gained probably, with those things guard, kicked around a little bit, trust to let go, to let other people shine, trust to let someone else handle your client. It was forced in Steve's case to learn that trust, but there was a different kind of trust given, and that was from the love and support of family, friends, and community. And our clients are truly, I say it all the time, they are our friends and our neighbors. And the outreach, the amazing letters and phone calls I received, the next week later was able, when he became aware again, and when he rejoined us, it was about 2 weeks that he was just literally not conscious. When he did come to, he was aware of the incredible support around him, that our team at Heritage then had already taken a culture that was far beyond a business and professional relationship. I'll never forget the day that this bathrobe showed up at the hospital. The bathrobe with his very first logo piece, and I do believe, and it was
because we were only a couple months into being
Heritage.
Had this really cool branded, basically bathrobe, but wasn't like a hospital gown. And he recovered in that robe, but it was sent with love to us there at Heritage from our team. And I wish I had it to share with you. There's a picture of a woman named Karen, actually the whole team at the time, but when Steve's first day back in office, it was very, very, it's traumatic to say the least, physically. But his recovery was a good 6 months physical recovery. And his first day back at the office, we all rushed out to the parking lot, and there's a picture of Karen hugging Steve. And that hug, that moment, just so glowing. There was not your typical boss, team member moment.
Your staff gave you guys a cat for Christmas.
Yeah.
That was I looked around in our home this morning.
Yes, he brought up this.
You see your staff. So I mean, it's such a great story about you guys, about what you stand for, about the strength of the community you serve too. Because I remember, Kelly, you saying that, you're writing this really difficult letter, and as it's going out, you were just getting phone calls of like, whatever you need, we don't need anything, like just go do you guys. And knowing that, because the type of ag you guys work on isn't like a $12,000 farm necessarily. I mean, you have your fair share of that, but some of the biggest clients were totally in your corner and not like, well, that was an opportunity for me to shop my policy.
Right. Yeah. No, it was, we just the other day listened to Matthew McConaughey's article.
I saw it on Facebook after you
and a comment that I can't remember one of the people made, but it was that life happens for you and not to you. I think one of those moments that life happened for us, is strange as that sounds, but it really, at that time we were probably.
I will point out it only did because you.
Well, yeah. Yes, but it made when I learned so many things. I did, like Kelly said, learn trust. I learned how to rely on a team. At that time, for perspective, I don't think about the personal stuff. I think, but for perspective, we were 500,000-600,000 revenue, 3 or 4 employees besides Kelly and I. Now we're quadruple that. I guess it's been 9 years.
You're like bionic. You have once in a lifetime illness, and then you quadruple a business. And next step, you're going to go to Nepal and, do all sorts of crazy hiking and everything else.
I think, I don't want to spend so much, Steve doesn't really particularly enjoy talking about this chapter, but yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, one of our values, Patrick Lenciani, is humble, hungry, and smart. And the humble part, it's always awkward to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you guys authentic and real. And I feel like just my experience with you is that how the team treated you during that time is exactly how you treat them. So whatever's going on in their lives, like you're very kind and supportive, and not just kind, like, take the day off, but like truly, like you're in their corner. Just, what do you need? Is it dinner? Is it a hug? Is it watching your dog? What do you need and the work stuff will figure it out, but what do you need as a person? And that's something I've always really valued for you guys, is that you treat your team like real people who have real people things that happen to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. We definitely try and live that one true to the core standard. Yeah. We consider our business our home. And for the obvious reason that Steve and I spend a fair amount of time here, but please surround yourself with the energy, the way the walls feel is super important, mentally, physically, all of that. And so we do put a good amount of time to making sure that the people that we share our home with are respected and treated as they should be. And it's the reward is exactly that. It's the way this house built. It's that it's filled with concern and courtesy and respect for each other. Last night, Steve and I were coming back from the conference, and we have a young man on our team now who just started a really cool softball league for our agency. Think as players, he does it.
He's an excellent. He was a college athlete.
Yeah. So we went the night at the ball game last night and enjoyed our family of team members.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And it was not only did we enjoy them, but I think our greatest enjoyment came from watching them enjoy one another. And that, he took the effort to pull the, band and softball misfits together, but they're hanging out on a beautiful spring night.
Yeah. California
maybe
spring night.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was good. And again, I don't ever want to be one of the people who talks the talk and doesn't walk the walk. And then some days takes more effort and real things do happen. And there are days that, each and every one of us are not at our best. And that's when we try to lend the support most, I would say. And,
I think one of the things that always has resonated with me, and again, Kelly was able to articulate this in our business and actually manifest it, but it was a value of mine, is part of my entrepreneurial spirit, I think, since age 15 or 20 has been, I want to control who I surround myself with. We've all worked in jobs that have, a toxic work environment or that boss that's a jerk or that coworker who doesn't show up that you have to pick up the slack for. And I just said, you know what, I want to create an environment where, I guess selfishly, we have control over that. And we're extremely deliberate about who we invite to be part of our family.
And you have a really, really cool family right now. Even not some blood family there now.
Oh, we do?
Yes. Yeah. We've had a little nepotism show up in the agency in the last couple of years. So our oldest daughter, we have two daughters, 25 and 26, Audrey and Grace. Really, a parent, your vocation, kind of like agriculture, you think about, gosh, I wish my kid would be interested in what I do, or my next generation.
When it's insurance.
Yeah, but it's insurance, attracting them to insurance. It's usually like, hey,
you're not only attracting client, you had a recruiting strategy.
Being that CPA wasn't what I thought. Okay, I'm 30 years old. I need something to do. Hey, Mom, Dad, can I come work at the insurance office? Because at a boomerang job. But she actually was a business major at Cal Poly University here, ag business major, and needed an internship as a sophomore, junior year. And I said, hey, we have a lot of connections with insurance companies that specialize in ag. Maybe you can get an internship. And she did. And lo and behold, she discovered she loved insurance and ended up told her she couldn't come to work here unless she had experience. So she went to work for another agency and spent several years there, and then just joined our team and has been with us for about a year.
COVID was on our side for that one.
Yeah, actually.
I don't know that we would have gotten her like we did, but life took a weird turn, kind of like your medical situation that, a lot of people's lives were disrupted 3 years ago, and hers was one of them. She was actually really happy at the agency she was at. And to be completely honest, that agency has a lot more to offer than we did. And
large agency, large wealth.
But an excellent culture that we still try to emulate. We've learned a lot from what she learned there. But she and her fiance at the time knew that things just weren't, COVID wasn't going great. So that actually was a benefit that they relocated up March here to us. And they were able to be at the time, didn't know that we were going to get both of them in business. So Audrey will be exiting stage shortly to have our first grandchild, but Austin, her husband, has joined our business as a producer and as one of our young team up and coming. And it's thrilling to be a part of that energy again, because I would say we didn't have a very strong sales culture going on here for quite a few years. And we were okay with that. It's just not our sales.
We were growing, but it really was about our presence and our specialty. We just have to be kind of right place, right time. We developed through Kelly's branding an excellent presence in the community. And so our phones were ringing and we were given opportunities every day, but we weren't intentional about our sales. We always used to jokingly say, what if we actually picked up the phone and called somebody? I mean, it would not existing customers would call all the time, but I mean, opportunity, not thought out opportunity. And that's happening now. Thanks a lot to your help and coaching and guidance.
But it's fun watching Austin, and it's you talk about all the salespeople on the team are so different. I think and getting a sales manager and kind of seeing that, I think, helps a lot. But Steve really was my number one salesperson, and kind of uncoupling that so that you just make it rain and empower others is sort of in the works. So where is Heritage heading, right? Like, if you're sort of attracted to this story and you're thinking, gosh, we're in the ag space and you're sort of got a little crush on Steve and Kelly, which hopefully is what's going on. Where are we going? Because I think you guys have a long, bright future ahead of you. And, there's a lot of people out there that might be looking to get involved.
Well, we had spent a lot of time even before we met Kelly, really trying to articulate what our future was going to be. Have learned to be more intentional about it rather than let it happen by chance and put the gas pedal down. And Kelly is the bold dreamer. And I was almost sometimes like, that's too bold. We can't do that. But no, but in our space, we wanted, some of our more esoteric type of goals, or we want to be recognized as the ag insurance leader in our community from Sacramento to the Oregon border, a pretty big area. And when Kelly used to say that, I would say, gosh, that's a little brazen. There's a lot of ag agencies in our area. That's a little bold. And now I believe that it's possible. But currently a team of Kelly and I, about 19 and 2.4 million revenue growing every day. And we have some specific goals to, I think we can double this in 7 years, 6 to 7 years. And from a metric standpoint, but really being, again, our primary focus is only if it's through growing people. Being our team. And it's through that. It's through mentoring. It's through networking, connections. And if acquisition makes sense, we'll make that happen. But, we're in one location. And I think, as the world's evolving, we can continue to grow. We don't have a limitation. Certainly the demographic is not our limitation. Kelly, what do you have to say about it?
Well, I think I'm thinking bigger, broader, but to me, where we're going and where we've always been, it's just Steve and I are two dreamers, and it worked for us. We were actually having a business conversation yesterday with someone who was talking about the value of partnership merging, and that it only makes sense if 1 and 1 equals 3. And I think that Steve and I, 1 and 1 equals 3, and that's been working for us for a long time. We're better together. People, when we talk about the fact that we work together, you get that, oh my God, I can never work with my husband
and my son-in-law and my daughter.
We're making sure that that's not yet to be, proven. It's going well so far. But as far as our relationship, working together has enhanced our marriage. It's not strained. It's been a good thing for us. And so the future, I think, really goes to revolve most importantly around the things that Steve just said, the things that actually light us on fire. Steve loves solving people's insurance risk, but more than anything, we enjoy being a part of this industry, sharing what this industry has to offer. We have lived an incredibly blessed life that some of those experiences I talked about earlier certainly make us aware of. We have lived a life with financial freedom, with personal freedom, for Steve to attend every single ball game with his kids. And we encourage the same for our team members here. Insurance is a great opportunity for anyone. I think we're getting to that almost cultish place where we're really trying to let people know, like, this is a good life. And we love sharing it. We love sharing an opportunity and a pathway for young people with the same shared values that we have, to join our team and to grow. And hopefully in 10 years, I think you don't know this now, but my goodness, you're going to thank me. You are going to thank me in 5 years. And we reached out late with a couple people, and it's pretty exciting to be a part of that journey. And I think that's probably what excites us more than I think we take for granted, and know that we can do the business part of things, meaning the financials and the actual growth. But what really lights us on fire and excites us is the joy that we get with our team every day in getting there. And probably our biggest pressure as well, our biggest stress is in that same category. So, there's a lot of load to make sure that we don't screw up a good thing. We have a great thing going here at Heritage in the World. We put a lot of efforts in maintaining that. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Kelly, you asked us a real simple question.
I think the part that we didn't say is, like, it also goes on to your clients, of like how hard you work for your clients, and like the depths of caring you have for your clients too. It's not just here's the policy and let's go. It's let's go understand their story and be a part of that. And I just think it's really cool because I can only imagine being born into, a family farm. And if that just wasn't my calling, but still want to be part of ag, but maybe a little bit more on the white collar side, or that, like that was just different, right? That this is also a really cool opportunity too of, hey, I could still be connected to this great thing that I'm passionate about, but I might not have to be in that specific scenario.
Certainly. Well, I think you nailed it. It isn't just a passion for one industry, insurance. It's a passion for two. It's agriculture first, insurance third through the business of insurance. And, I don't know that we articulate that enough sometimes, that is where our roots are. That is where our past has been. And it's certainly where our future is. We live to be in that space and take great pride in offering solutions for the risk issues that our firm clients experience. And we do.
And there are plenty.
Yeah.
Well, the thing we didn't talk about is the fact that you're 10, 15 minutes from Paradise, you're definitely in a high fire zone, and that can cause some very unique insurance challenges, but also some very dangerous scenarios for your clients too. And you are in a complex insurance marketplace up there.
Yeah. It certainly is, as anybody who's on our side of the business right now knows. It's 25 years that I've been in it. It's nothing like I've ever experienced, and like unprecedented things come to mind. But the challenge is we're trying to see this as opportunity. While it is challenging, if we can be the solution provider, or at least approach our clients with empathy and listen and explain and educate why we're in the situation we are. I think there's a lot of almost depression in our industry, the insurance industry right now, because of all the challenges. I mean, I hear about young people
drowning,
or even senior people saying, I've had it, I'm done, I can't handle this anymore. But we talk about that every day, that, we didn't create the situation, but it doesn't mean that we can't be part of the solution to the situation.
I agree with that. The market is crazy, and they're saying it's once a 75-year market. We've never experienced anything like this before. And, Mother Nature's not been kind. There's over $18 billion weather events last year. So, and the carriers, and we had COVID. And so it just feels kind of exhausting all the time. And insurance is one of those things where, hey, you budget for X, but you don't really know what that renewal is going to come in at. But I'd much rather have Steve Mora tell me that I'm going to pay 40% more.
Well, yeah.
We've had much practice.
Yeah, we've all had too much practice. But again, it's, we try and tell our producers that it's an unprecedented opportunity, because everybody out there, if you were to call 10 people today and ask them, would you like to talk about insurance? 7 of them probably say, when can you be here? Now, we might only be able to help 3, but tell you what, compared to when I started in the business, where you call 10 and one of them might talk to you out of kindness. It's a different environment right now.
That's why I'm here.
There's a lot of pain out there.
Well, and I love what you said, because I firmly believe this, and I've been saying this probably for 2 weeks right now. The best agents will be built in this market. A couple of years from now, as new agents come in, they'll be like, I've got to go deliver a 10% rate increase. I'm so nervous. They'll be like, ha, ha, ha. So you were talking about, you could be really the grumpy old agent and be like, I remember when I was delivering 45% rate increases 4 years in a row.
But I was talking to a 50-year veteran yesterday at lunch, and picking his brain. Number one, two of he and his son were there together. So I was pumping him for every bit of advice. We were working together as family. He is father-son. And he shared, his 50 years. And that, just what you just said, Kelly. It is unprecedented. It's crazy times. But that's one of the things that we love about you. It's the right way to think about that. And the best agents will be born through this time. And I'm watching that with our team right now. They're stepping up to that challenge. It's like, if you can handle it, you're going to love the next 10 years.
We keep telling that.
Oh, don't let him make me bad. He didn't think it was going to be any time letting up soon. He thought we had a pretty tough market.
3 to 5 years.
The earliest prediction is the end of 2025, because that's when carriers will rebound profitability wise. So that's the earliest. And that's if kind of everything's is good. But, I think that this is when a good quality agent makes the difference, because if you shop around, you're not going to find anything different. So I want to get treated well where I am. That's
probably a pretty strong health and wellness important to a program here at the end. We spent a lot of time thinking about the fact that, the mental health of our team, that, taking those phone calls day after day after day, after coming through the stress of the society of COVID. I'm so sick of talking about COVID, but you can't ignore the effects of it. Steve and I are not known to be the most touchy-feely kind of people in the world, but I think we've become, though. I think we've become a little not touchy-feely, and we're more sensitive to the needs.
Empathetic, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a connection. And I think that's something you guys do so well is you connect with your team in a way, like they don't look at it like, oh, there's the owners. Like, I don't even think that they would say owner, like, yes, you are, but they're like, there's Steve and Kelly, leaders. I think that they would say that you're more leaders than like the traditional agency owner.
Well, we intentionally eliminated the reference employee, or, one of the things I struggled with, I think, was we really tried to keep hierarchy as not a part of our organization. Of course, there's experience and salary differences, things like that. I think people understand that. I mean, there's an understanding to that, but it doesn't mean because you're a senior account manager that you have a better parking spot than the receptionist. At the human level, we're all equal.
And more than just
Rhett gets special treatment.
Well, Rhett gets yes.
That's the dog.
Yeah,
what's the title of Rhett on the agency website?
VFO, Chief Vet Officer.
Yes, and he does a great job with the squirrels outside.
Yes,
so
he keeps the tree. He keeps the tree squirrels on their toes.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the mental health program for sure.
If somebody is inspired of listening to you, maybe wants to learn more about insurance or what it might be like to work for you or be insured by you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, Kelly, I like them to pick up the damn phone. That's true. That's the reason in addition to our team called. And he was shocked that I answered, and I was shocked that he called. And that's where we started our conversation. And I have never turned down a person who has expressed interest in Heritage. So I predominantly do all of the initial fielding of people either interested in working for us or me outwardly looking for people who, and we're always looking. But my favorite are the ones that get it right away. And we get to the part where we get to know each other and share our fit. We're never looking for just a role or responsibilities. And we spend a long time in that phase. But someone has to have a lot of stamina to, number one, go through a conversation with me because I can go long. Yes, I think giving our office a call for Kelly, and don't be ashamed to say that I want to learn a little bit more about Heritage, and you don't have to necessarily. Some people don't want to transmit that they're looking for employment somewhere other than where they are, but I'm always available. And
even just for a cup of coffee, Kelly with coffee is always good.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker. I mean, I love the industry, the insurance industry. I'm on several carrier advisory councils and have been involved in different organizations, and I love insurance. I have talked to people for hours about it who have no intention of working here, but I've talked to people into getting their license and going to work somewhere else. I mean, it's just, I love our industry, and I think people just don't know about it. And we're both passionate talking about Heritage and talking about insurance as an opportunity. So we love that chance to talk to folks.
And I think, this might sound hokey, but it's the same thing. Pleasing people through serving their needs and insurance feels great. Like when you do your job and you do it really well. I feel really great when I know someone's looking for the right fit for a new career path or just to change up, and we find the fit and to watch them blossom here at Heritage. I'm passionate about that, and that's why. It's because it feels good from the very first moment. And sometimes it feels good when the fit isn't good, and we know it together. And we've had some great conversation in our conference room. I usually involve our other. Don't take my word for it. I have my team here, and they'll
ask them
about it. But at one point we just kind of know that maybe we aren't quite the perfect fit, or maybe not right now. And those conversations could be as exciting as the ones that are like, so we can start tomorrow.
It's so true. I think there's a professional way to handle all of that, right? And that's probably a great future podcast is how to professionally uncouple.
Yeah. Definitely is a very exciting ride. It has been, and wake up every day wondering what new opportunity is going to, or challenge is going to meet us tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm bad at that. Like you're probably, we're nearing the end. So it's like we're wrapping up, and I'm going to circle back and go, oh, I forgot to say one thing. Another pivotal point I think that we'd be silly to not mention right now in our story and the trajectory of Heritage is knowing when you need outside resources. And Kelly, you taught us the term of our business was in its teenage years, and we needed help. And as two doers and people who are unaccustomed to looking for outside expertise and resources, that's when things really did make a big change as well. So we knew enough to know. We met Kelly P at a Grange provided conference, and a nudge from someone who, an industry rep person said, I think you are really going to be a good fit with this Kelly P person. You should check it out. So I knew she knew us and are operational enough to know that if that were, thank you, Jen Hine, by the way, advice to look outside of ourselves for the help that we needed, and then being big enough to say, we do need it, bold enough and risk taker enough, because anytime you're committing to any business relationship that has financial responsibilities attached to it, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk no different than bringing on a new team member from an employment stand.
And not only that, they're going to see behind the curtain, You're going to have to share all of the skeletons.
Don't forget, I've seen a lot of skeletons.
And you help us with ours. That having lacking the ego, you have to be in that space where you can, as you said, the medicine's going to take tough for a year or two, but you might have some hard growing pains. And I think we went through those growing pains to get to a stronger standpoint to be able to launch to where we are now. So I think we're out of timeline there, but that was something we should have spoken to. Wasn't you, Kelly P?
You guys did the work. That's it. You guys did the work. You guys took the medicine.
We did it. Still think it's Kelly.
You took the medicine, and then you guys did the work. That's it. And
you're our most key business partner, but there's others from who you align yourself, from our CPA to our CFO. It's those strategic relationships beyond the four walls that you have, and knowing that get the help you need. And I think that made a big difference.
Big time.
Well, I think it's just that I love Rhett so much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see the grandbaby. I know we don't know a name yet, but I think I know it's a boy or girl, but we'll find that out in due time.
I can't wait to find out, but it's starting to get, I'm not patient, Kelly. It's getting harder every day, but I look forward to sharing that news as we have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, this has been a pleasure. It's been an honor to know you guys too. And I'm just excited to see you double and maybe learn a new language.
I babbled going perfectly.
Yeah. And, Steve had some pretty great ambitions too of going to Nepal and all that fun stuff. So, it's more than just about the agency side for me. It's also that the owners get to do the lives that they want. And sometimes an agency can kind of take over your life, and sometimes life takes over, and then there's the agency separating, and it's sort of the seesaw all the time. But you guys are right on the right path. So thank you guys too.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. You certainly helped us dream the vision more clearly and articulate what it is we want out of it. So,
well, and I just appreciate the opportunity to share time this morning and reflecting back. It's always nice to see where you've come from, and it helps prepare you for the next day. So thank you for giving us the opportunity just to do this with you.
Everyone. And we will give you how to get in touch with them so you can pick up the damn phone and all the morons. It's kind of an inside joke, but we're still old fashioned and like to pick up the damn phone. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Okay.
You too, Kelly. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.